I did not expect an NFL linebacker to try to take on a sumo wrestler and expect it to go any way. Watch this. This is edge rusher Micah Parsons from the Cowboys. I think he's where he's from, and he's trying to take on a sumo, and it doesn't go the way he thinks. See, he's ready to go. Ready? Stops him.
Oh, that's awesome.
Watch the sumo wrestler, though. He can't get a hold of him, but when he does, he picks him right up.
He's going to handle him. I can just tell.
Yeah, and he's got him. I need somebody in your weight. Yeah, no, you need to go back to America.
And you can tell he wasn't even like really trying either. So it's like, no, if he was really going after it, he would have basically torn him apart.
Yeah, he's not trying at all. He's like, this is a really weird way to do this, my friend.
He's like patting him on the back, like, good job.
It's like you're wrestling your 8-year-old cousin.
Right. He's learning how you're a pro, you know, that kind of thing. You're state champion. He's just learning. Yeah. So now the conversation on the internet is, how come the NFL doesn't hire sumo wrestlers? And it's like, well, because the ramen in America sucks.
And that too. Yeah, we here in America, it's like, here's ramen, and then we've got our bazinga ramen, and we add 4 different spices or whatever. And it's just like, you go to Japan.
Jalapeno ramen.
Yeah, and it's just like, you want ramen with pork or beef?
With Cheeto dust on it. Let's go.
Yeah, I see those way too much. And like one of my ex-girlfriends, she was a big foodie, like Instagram foodie and everything. So she'd always be like, you want to go eat this? You want to go there? And I'm like, what did they do to that? Like sushi? What did they do to that ramen? That's a war crime.
Is that just ground up fruity pebbles on the top of this?
Seen it on a sushi. So you're not completely far off.
I've seen it on a pizza.
E Honda versus Balrog. Yes.
Yes.
Okay, Spencer, were you there in San Diego? I don't remember the exact name of it. There was like a weird pizza place that was like close to downtown, but not quite there. And it was like Crazy Pizza or something like that, where they would do like these weird combinations, like peanut butter and jelly, and like all this. Like I can't remember the exact name of it. It was basically somewhere like north of the downtown area.
It was like a little bit north in that it's in that weird gap when you're going up like the 5 near like the beach, and it's in that weird area. It's crazy something. I think you're right, but yeah, lived up to the name, that's for sure.
The thing is that take a look at the bicep on the sumo. You see that?
That's not even activated.
Right. And see, a lot of people have the mistaken identity, because we talked about this in the Assassin's Creed video.
Yes, we did.
So a lot of people think that sumo is just fat. Just biggest guy, belly bumps the other guy out of the ring. But the reality of it is that you have, if you've ever seen the competition of like crash derby cars getting hooked up in front of each other, and they're just pushing, nobody's backing up. They're trying to pull each other. They're trying to overpower the other one. It's a sumo wrestling thing. I'm trying to explain it in like the more American style, so we understand it, and the more we get it. Because the bigger engine doesn't win in this either. It's the traction. In this case, the traction is that man's legs. If you take a look at that bicep, you have to pick up your sumo opponent. He's got just as much push as you do. And that's why that man's bicep is that way, not even holding the NFL wrestler. He's just reaching. It's not even like activated, like Spencer said. His almonds haven't been activated there. He's just reaching. But that's how much power these guys are, is that they are just muscle underneath that. So you see somebody go bear mode, right? You've heard bear mode before. That's the there's the ectomorph and the endomorph. And the ectomorph body type is the body type that turns into a bear when you work out. You don't get the Superman physique that's shaped like a Dorito. You get the like barrel. You become a human barrel. Scott Steiner is a good example of this. Steiner is just like shoulder to hip, the same ratio. There's no definition from like the underarm to the hip. It's just bump, you know? And that's how sumo wrestlers work. You will not find an ectomorph.
He's like a Chansey. He's just pure one shape.
Right. Rey Mysterio is an ectomorph body type, meaning the more muscle he piles on, he's still going to be a wiry guy. It's not because he's short. It's that the muscles are more densely packed on him. Whereas you have the ectomorph, who has the more expansive muscle style, which is what you have with the sumo wrestlers. You know, and like men break down tend to be one or the other. Very few do you have like the crossover guys. Like Bruce Lee was an ectomorph. Yep. Hulk Hogan is an endomorph. And that's how, the other way around. Ectomorph's a big guy, endomorph's the little guy. And
A
that's how that works.
might hang from the ceiling. No, I'm kidding.
Right, but that's what it is. And so it's very fascinating. Like you see here, the linebacker is an endomorph. You can see he's got the body definition. It doesn't matter how tall you get. Doesn't mean you have to be short to be an endomorph. But the ectomorph body style is just barrel, man barrel. And that's and all the sumo wrestlers are that body style, no matter where they come from around the world.
Yeah.
All of them are that style. And you have to be. Because if you have a denser body thing, it's why women bodybuilders don't get as large as men do, but most of the time they can pick up as much weight. Not all the time. Peak male bodybuilder can always outbeat peak female bodybuilders. It's just the way men and women are built. But most
you
of the time,
can't say that. Type A can beat type B, okay?
Well, yeah, right. And that's another thing. But the bodybuilding thing is a good example of this, is that it doesn't matter how big the ectomorph gets. He's always going to be a barrel. The endomorph, it doesn't matter how big the endomorph gets. He's always going to maintain that kind of Bruce Wayne, like multi-platform athletic look. Like I can run, I can jump, I can shot put, I can javelin. I'm not just the track guy, you know? Whereas the endomorph's like, no, I can't. I just bench press refrigerators. That's what I do. That's all I do all the time. I'm the ectomorph. And that's what's fascinating about this, just this body type matchup of how different they are in their ability.
And like that's what I just wanted to note. This thing is like in this video, Micah, like he knows that he's probably not gonna like win, and he's just going like, let's see what happens. It's so different from the attitude we see with more other Westerners, like Cider was talking about, where they'd go, oh, sumo is dumb, they're just fat, I can win. Right? Like Micah at least recognizes like, oh, I see an athlete when I know an athlete.
He says, I need somebody in my weight class. It's not going to help you.
I love that beginning though, where he's literally Looney Tunesing it. Like his feet do not move.
Yeah. Watch the sumo's feet. Watch as he charges, he gets him, he pushes him, and he's sliding anime style. Watch that. Watch his lead toe. He slides anime style. All you needed was a little puff of dust down there, you know?
One of the best, it was one of the best threads I ever read, and one of the most sort of like eye-opening I ever read was a couple years ago, maybe like 1 or 2. Somebody on Japanese Twitter posted this video of there was like a sumo competition, and in the front row somebody caught a video of like these two girls, like these two women who were like fawning over the sumo wrestlers, right? Like there's just these two huge dudes in front of them, and they're like, ooh, like taking pictures, like talking about it. And a lot of people, especially Westerners, were like, really? Are they just like, is that common, or is that just what they're into? And that thread had so many Japanese women pouring out, being like, no. That is peak. Like I'm ready to have like 17 kids and start a new like shogunate. It's crazy. Women love the sumo.